We called it, we scooped it, now the news is busy doing it, declaring that Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars have been delayed just before Memorial Day weekend. Folks, today we're going to tell you even more. And that's right, there's way more to this. And get ready because Marvel is in a panic, trying to save a franchise going the way of Star Wars. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel. And by the way, happy almost Memorial Day weekend. And if the weekend has begun when you're watching this, well, get out there and hug someone you love and spend some time thinking about the things that we should on a weekend such as this. All right, folks, click the like button. Let's dive in. We have so much to talk about, and the receipts, we have them ready. Marvel hits Avengers movies with massive delay. This out of Newsweek, and it came out on the 22nd of May, updated today. All right, this is by Jeremy Hanna. It says Avengers remains one of the most popular franchises in film history, having grossed over $7.7 billion across 4 movies, including the 2 highest grossing superhero films of all time. Needless to say, fans are ecstatic for the release of the next 2 films in the franchise, Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Well, pause on that for a moment, folks. The reason that we're getting the delays we are is because there's worry and concern that that's not true anymore. And the reason that they're worried is because the trend within the MCU is flops and failures, with some exceptions. Spider-Man, Deadpool, Wolverine, those characters still draw a crowd, but otherwise, you can say it out loud now, everybody recognizes the MCU is in trouble. And because of that, it says, unfortunately, it looks like they'll have to wait a bit longer. According to a report from J. Kim Murphy of Variety, both movies have been delayed 7 months from their original release dates. This means that Avengers Doomsday will release on December 18th, 2026 instead of May 1st, and Secret Wars will release on December 17th instead of May 17th. So we have the delay, but who could have possibly ever seen this coming our way? Well, folks, this is the Patreon, the WDW Patreon, where on May 16th, I said, Avengers Doomsday delay split into a trilogy. Secret Marvel meetings may recognize disaster is in full bloom around Doctor Doom. On May 16th, we broke the story on the Patreon. Now you can ask, Pro, why did you not go there on the YouTube channel as well? And the reason for that, folks, is because we try very hard to make sure that we have absolute, as close to certainty as we can before we put things, the rumors on the YouTube channel. And that is because we currently have something like a 90% plus accuracy on scoops and early info, and we want to keep that percentage up. And we didn't have enough confidence yet to take that from the Patreon to the YouTube channel. Now, you noticed something, and by the way, now Doomsday is going to be going head-to-head with Dune Messiah, so expect some more box office date changes coming. They don't want another Lilo and Stitch and Tom Cruise issue, right? But I want to point you to something. Let's read the headline again on the Patreon post. Split into a trilogy. Split into a trilogy. Now, we haven't talked about that at all outside of the Patreon. Dates are going to matter on this one. And by the way, we'll put the disclaimer out there. This entire video is filled with rumor and speculation. There you go. Rumor and speculation. Take some salt. This came out May 19th. Now, May 19th is going to matter because remember, we had the scoop about this becoming a trilogy on May 16th. Okay? On May 19th, James Mackwl puts this out there. I've been told that Marvel will announce the rest of Phase 6 at their San Diego Comic-Con panel, and that they are all set to announce that Avengers Secret Wars will have 2 parts, and that the third Avengers movie will probably have a different name than Part 2. Folks, that sounds a lot like a trilogy. And that's what we called. And by the 19th, this was now getting out there. And if you go search for this, you all can do this. If you go search for this, what you're going to find is that this was what, people were citing. And I don't know if James frequents the Patreon. I doubt it. I think that probably we're hearing the same info from different sources, maybe the same source, who knows? But I bet that we're hearing some of the same stuff. And then he's got this down as Avengers Forever. And I'm hearing that whatever the title is, I don't think that'll be the final title. whatever the title is, I'm hearing that this will be the last of the MCU movies as we've known them. Now, whatever that means, I can't tell you, but this is the end of many different stories. And then it's reboot, restart, whatever, however you want to phrase this. But this is the end that we all thought we had with Endgame. Now, okay, so it's looking more and more likely that we broke the story on the trilogy. Folks, if you want to be a part of the Patreon, get over there. It's patreon.com/WDW Pro. So we've got that. Now other sources are coming out a little bit later and confirming, looks like maybe, perhaps, what we've been saying about this. One delay, two trilogy, but there's a third part to this. So the third part to this that isn't in the title here, but we clearly talked about it, and then it's going to be, we're going to cover this over the weekend as well, is that they're trying to find somebody else besides Pedro Pascal, allegedly, to carry these films. And with RDJ sidelined as a villain, they need somebody who can pull in audiences. Pedro Pascal may not be able to do that for reasons that we've covered now ad nauseum. So, who are we hearing might be the star of this trilogy, but would become the star mostly in the second of the three movies, because it's a little late in the game to fix this in the first film right now, since it's already in production? And the answer to that is Chris Pratt. What we're hearing right now is that Marvel is looking for some way to find a star to save them, and the best chance they have right now, although this has not been fully finished in terms of contractual negotiations and all of that, maybe, possibly, speculation, look at the track record, is Chris Pratt leading the trilogy. Well, would you have a look at that, folks? Would that not be interesting? Now, we're getting really close to having two of these, right? The delay is confirmed now. Variety's got that confirmed. So we brought that out 6 days ahead. They've got that confirmed 6 days later. The trilogy is starting to look more and more likely. And let me explain that too, because you might say, well, why would they want to make a trilogy? Why would they want to have three potential flops? And the reason for that, folks, is because there's already a budget in place, right? And they're shooting the first and the second film sort of, side by side, simultaneous, however you want to put it. A lot of this is just going on together. It's as if it's one giant movie or series. Well, the Russo brothers are looking at all of these characters that they have to deal with, many of which audiences don't care about. So you've got Thunderbolts, right? You got the Fantastic Four. You've got the Fox X-Men. You've got the original Avengers, to whatever degree they're going to bring them back. You've got the Z-tier characters from Disney Plus. Like all of these characters, you've got Wakanda. All of these characters have to make some sort of appearance because they're all tied now into demographics and virtue. And well, if you don't include them, well, you didn't include, some people group that identifies with them. Okay, whatever. Maybe even young Avengers are going to show up. They will. Please don't put She-Hulk in it, though, unless she sacrifices herself at the very beginning. We'll go there. And of course, the Marvels have to make an appearance. They're not telling you that, right? You got to have Brie, you got to have them on. And why? Why do you have to have them on? Because if they're not there, then that is a statement against feminism. And Kevin Feige cannot stand for that, right? Okay. So the Russo brothers are looking at all of this, all of these stories, all these messes, and they're saying to themselves, probably allegedly, how can we possibly make this in two movies make any sense whatsoever? Well, they got to do it in three. And then the costs of making two movies doesn't increase dramatically. Yes, they'll have to spend more on marketing and prints and ads, but the cost doesn't increase dramatically because they're already going to create such a huge amount of content that you could practically make three movies out of it anyway. This is not a Hobbit situation, right? Where you're trying to stretch a very thin amount of material into a full-blown trilogy. This is, oh my gosh, how can we ever do this in two movies and make it make sense? So it's already plenty challenging enough to get people interested in the MCU when nothing at all has worked leading up to this except for Deadpool. So if none of that has worked, and now you probably don't have Deadpool really, I mean, he can make a cameo, but this Blake Lively problem is a real problem. So it makes sense that they've got to delay it because they got to figure out what in the world they're going to do. How do you regenerate interest? It makes sense that it would be a trilogy because a lot of the costs are already sunk in. Why not get three films for the price of two? And then it also makes sense that they would switch to Chris Pratt from Pedro Pascal because Pedro is the next Rachel Zegler. They need a superstar. And there are billions and billions of dollars at stake here. let's just go back to that where it says 4 films have grossed $7.7 billion. So adjusting for inflation, is it safe to say that three future films have an opportunity cost of a potentiality of $7.7 billion if we adjust for inflation, maybe? Something like that. 7? Can we do that? There are 3 films and maybe $7 billion on the line, and that's not including merchandising. Do you want to bet $7 billion on Pedro Pascal that they thought was going to be their Reed Richards Fantastic Four, come through the door and save Marvel? Or do you want to bet on Chris Pratt? I'm betting on Chris Pratt. I'm betting on the Mario Man. I'm betting on the Jurassic World guy who tames raptors. I'm betting that Chris Pratt can get us through this situation without blowing up our chances with some stupid answer to the media. He's savvy. Now, the far lefties don't like him. They don't like him because he goes to church. How dare you go to church, Chris Pratt? You know what? We need a scene where Chris Pratt and Jeremy Renner stand together, shoulder to shoulder. That would be fun, wouldn't it? They don't like that. This is where Marvel is. They need a winner. They need a winner for a trilogy that's now delayed. Folks, that is the video for today. My, oh my, what big news as we get ready to go into Memorial Day weekend, and it doesn't stop. 4 videos a day, every day, and that includes the holidays, coming your way this weekend. Also, folks, take note, we are launching a brand new version of Vacation Radio, like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. It is now going to be Prelude Pro Radio over on what was Vacation Radio. Rock music coming out. It's the Summer of Rock. We'll be debuting new songs all month long. We can't wait to bring it to you. And folks, thanks for spending a few minutes with us. It's an honor. It's a pleasure. We hope you have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend with burgers and hot dogs and those you love. Get out there and enjoy it. Soak up the sun if you are so lucky, and look out for those less fortunate too. All right, folks, like, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Oh, yeah. Can't believe I made it. This thing is great. And now I have my own emoji on WDW Pro's channel.
Right? Hey, everyone's been wanting me for, ever. But just remember, you're like a pity vote.
Thanks.
By the way, do you want me to turn on the bubbles?
They are on. Aren't they?